Hi everyone. Welcome back if this is a return trip for you. My name is April and this is the Frugal Planner channel. Today I want to show you how to glue pages together in your composition notebook. I cut mine down. I just used a straight blade, a metal ruler, and a self-healing cutting mat, and I cut mine down. It's a little shy of an A5. The reason I did this is so that it's more portable in my purse. The regular size composition notebook is a little cumbersome for me to carry around in my bag. My bag's not that big, so I cut it down. I did that this morning. If you want to see a video of how to cut these down, I will post a link down below to my other channel, Plan with April, and I have a video there of how I cut a composition notebook down step by step. What I want to show you now is how to glue the pages together. And you might be thinking, hold on, why are we gluing the pages together? If you have any experience with the pen and gear composition notebook, which is what this is, the pages are a little bit thinner. You will have some ghosting and you will even have some bleed through depending on what kind of pen you use. I really enjoy using the Pen and Gear gel pens, and they do sometimes bleed through. All the time they ghost. So I got a stock of composition notebooks when they were on sale for back to school at 50 cents a notebook. I do not at all feel less frugal by gluing the pages together because they're normally $1. So I saved half and I'm creating half of the notebook than you normally get. You do not have to do this. Absolutely do not have to do this. If you do decide to do this, I just wanted to provide you with this how-to video. So what I've got, I have the Scotch permanent glue stick. It's made by 3M. It's a big glue stick. What I have found after using a lot of different companies is I really like the Scotch the best because it's less likely to wrinkle my pages. And if you've ever glued pages together before, you know the wrinkling is kind of annoying when you go to write over it. Another thing that I will tell you, another tip that I will tell you, is that we are only going to glue 3 sides of the page. I have seen creators that glue all 4 and then they do an X down the middle. To me, that's unnecessary and it's an overuse of glue. It's almost like a waste of glue, in my opinion. Can you still do that? Absolutely. If that makes your heart happy, definitely do that. I'm not going to in this tutorial. And then another thing I'm going to show you is once we get to the middle of the bound notebook, we're going to flip it. And the reason we're going to do that is to keep it from getting off on the edges. So right now, whoops, because I dropped my glue stick, you can see even though this one is cut down, the edge is very clean on all 3 sides. We want to keep it like that. So open up your composition notebook or any notebook at all. You can do this with a regular spiral notebook too if you want to glue the pages together to make them thicker so that you can use any kind of pen or marker on the pages. So all I'm going to do, I have my glue stick. I've turned one single page over. I'm going to glue the top, the bottom, and the side. And I'm going to make sure I only have one piece of paper. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to lay it down as best I can to make sure all of that glue makes contact with that other page. I'm going to roll this up just a little bit. And then I am going to turn one page, smooth that down, top, bottom, side. I'm going to make sure I only have one page. I'm going to fold it over and again, smooth that down as best I can. One page, flip, top, bottom, side. Make sure I only have that one page. We're going to smooth it as best we can to get that glue as smooth as possible. Flip one. And we are going to repeat this process until we get to the center of the book. Now the great thing, if you're doing a spiral notebook, you can just keep this process up until you get to the end of the pages. You won't have to flip in the middle. But the reason we're going to flip in the middle is because these composition notebooks, the pen and gear, are actually stitched. So if you just keep going, they will be uneven when you close the book, when you close the notebook. And if you're wondering what this notebook is going to be used for, I'm going to show you on this channel. This is my new meal planning notebook. I really like my meal planner to be portable because a lot of times I will have like a 15-minute break at work and I will work on meal planning. With the other one that I had created on this channel, it was too, like I said, it was just too large and too cumbersome to fit in my purse. So I wasn't taking it with me. And so because I wasn't taking it with me, I wasn't actually using it, which is a shame. Don't worry, I will recycle that notebook into something else, I promise. It is not wasted. So one page, top, bottom, side, one page, smooth, one page. And again, this probably might seem like a lot of work, but if you don't like ghosting and you don't like bleed through and you want to be able to use any of your pens and markers in your notebook, whether it be for meal planning or daily planning, this is the best way I have found to get the pages to lay down properly and look the best and not have wrinkles to try and write over. Single page. And honestly, this is kind of relaxing. It's Sunday afternoon, it's fall, it's a little breezy out there. It's warm-ish. I mean, it's warm for fall. It's like, I was gonna say early 70s. It's low 70s today. So it's kind of nice just sitting back here, looking out the window, enjoying watching the wild turkeys and the baby deer, enjoy what's left of the garden, and glue some pages together. Top, bottom, edge. Let me know down in the comments if you have ever cut down a notebook from its original size, and if you have, what was your experience with that? Would you do it again? I've cut down probably half a dozen notebooks. I don't mind doing it. It's a bit of work to get them straight and not have like the ruler slip or the blade slip. And my husband is always so afraid. He's like, please be careful. Please wear the metal gloves. Please don't cut yourself. I'm like, I got it. I understand. I haven't found any place locally or even close to locally that will cut down the pages for me. And I know it would be so much faster if they had like the guillotine cutter where they could just put it in, put in the measurements, and then I would take a dozen down and have them do it. Because I do stock up during the back to school specials, because they're only 50 cents each, which is such a great bargain for a notebook, especially a composition notebook. And while I have used a lot of different brands of notebook, even though I do glue the pages together because they're thin, these are my favorite pages to write on. Like as far as paper quality in a composition notebook, from 50 cents to $1, that price range, Pen and Gear are my favorite. I really, really do like their product a lot. You can tell that we are getting closer to the center of the book, which, if you are old enough, makes reference to the center of the Tootsie Pop. Remember that commercial? Those commercials? How many licks does it take? Did you ever try to figure it out on your own? I was just like, was it the turtle? 1, 2, 3, 3. Or was it the owl? I don't remember. Who actually ate the Tootsie Pop? I remember there being a turtle, a boy, and an owl in the commercial. Also, do you remember when you used to purchase those from the store, and if you had the Indian with his bow drawn, pointed at an arrow, you could take your wrapper back in after you ate your sucker and you'd get a free one? I don't know if that was like a real thing or just the grocery or the convenience store we had on the corner by my house when we were kids. Okay, so as you can see, we are at the center of the notebook. We've got the binding right there. So I'm going to close it back up. I'm going to give it a good smudge, good press. And now we are going to, so this is the front side. We are going to flip it to the back side. And we're going to repeat the exact same process. And we are going to fold one over. But now we're going to do the bottom, the top, and the side. And we are going to repeat that same process of laying it down, one page, laying it down, getting everything smooth as possible, as we're putting the glue down. What other candies did you like as a kid, or maybe even into your adulthood? I remember one of the candies from a kid, when I was a kid, that's really hard to find nowadays is Abba Zabbas. We were in San Francisco and we were in an old fashioned candy store on Pier 39, and they had Abba Zabbas. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen these in forever. They also had, I never really liked it, but my brothers did, the Big League Chews. Remember those bubblegum packs? They had candy cigarettes too. Remember when those were a thing? That was a few years ago, wasn't it? It's funny. And the Charleston Chews. I remember when the Mamba, Mamba candy came out, and it was like 5 different flavors of like almost a taffy, like a soft taffy. And the roll was like really big. Like the candy itself looked really, really big. And I remember thinking that was such a bargain. So I would always get that one because I felt like I got more candy in that than I got like in just a regular candy bar. That is one big page, but that felt thick. Felt thicker. Thicker than a Snickers. Oh yeah, and Clearly Canadians. They were a very sweet seltzer water. Very, very, very sweet. They were almost like a Sprite with flavor in it. And I remember getting those when I was younger too. Loved them. Peach was my favorite. Speaking of peach, even still today, peach rings, you know, the gummy peach rings that are probably not good for you by any means. They're like just pure sugar and gelatin. I love them. I absolutely love them. Flip that over. Smooth it down. This morning I got up and made coffee, and while I was waiting, I was doing gel polish on my nails, this color. I originally thought it was going to be like a dark brown, and it turned out to be a burgundy, which I like just as much as I would have if it would have been a dark brown, so I was fine with it. But my thumb, this thumb and this finger, have not wanted to stay on today for whatever reason. I haven't been doing anything other than like planning stuff back here in the office for most of the day. But like this one peeled up twice, so I, took the polish or the gel off of it, and this one did once. And I'm like, what is happening? So if you have any advice on how to keep gel polish on natural fingernails, my nail beds are super duper oily. So I know that plays that plays a role. Like regular fingernail polish, even with a top coat, might stay on my nail for 48 hours before it starts chipping. And I'd go get like professional nails done, like acrylic nails done, but the last time I looked into it, it was really expensive. I mean, everything has gone up, right? Like everything in the world has gone up price-wise. But I'm having a really hard time justifying going and paying that much for nails every 2 weeks. So I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to say that I won't do it because I really do enjoy having nice manicured nails. And for the time it takes me to do it and the amount of time that it doesn't last very long, I don't know. I'm highly just considering doing it. And maybe instead of doing it like every 2 weeks, I could spread it out and do it like every 3 weeks. That might be a good solution. Or maybe once a month, depending on how fast my nails are going to grow. The other thing is they're so healthy right now. And I don't know if I want to damage them, because I know, especially acrylics, as beautiful as they are, I find that they can be a little bit damaging to my natural nail bed. But I definitely do like how clean and nice they look when they're done. Oh, my cuticles are always so much happier. So funny. And because I show my hands and my fingernails a lot on this channel, on both channels, I really try hard to have, you know, painted nails when I'm filming. And I do like the gel option more than I like the polish option because I don't get as many like smears on the page. I know with natural polish that happens. What a tangent. This is what happens when my mind is relaxed. Talk about manicures and polish. We are almost back to the middle, which will bring this to the conclusion of this video. If there have been any questions that you have had while I have been gluing these pages together and telling you random stories, please put them down below in the comments. I do read and respond to every comment. It might take me a little bit to get back to you, but I promise. If you have a question on how any of this was done or the best way to do something, or again, any questions at all, feel free to put them down below and I will absolutely do my best. If I don't know the answer, I will do some research and let you know. So now that we've reached the middle again, you can see, I'm going to fold this closed. I'm going to squish it down. Use my muscles. And our edges should be, again, not wobbly. Not wobbly. Well, that one's a little kittywampus. Why is that? Okay, there it goes. It just needed to be squished down. So that is what it's going to look like. It is going to be thicker. It's going to feel thicker. It's going to definitely feel more substantial as you're planning in it. So I will be turning this one into my new meal planning. Of course, I'm going to show you my setup. That'll be in the future video. If there's something else you want to see, again, comment down below. I hope you have an amazing day. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like, all the things. It definitely helps. And I will see you in the comments soon. I love you. Bye.